she did not know. Okay, before I got too far off and it was 45 minutes later, it was some strange, trippy version of a new Dark Star written about a woman named Anne Marie. Every bit of that was completely made up, as you could probably obviously tell. So, luckily I play with a group of guys who look at me on a regular basis and say, just go. Just, you're in a place, just go and see where it ends up. Which is a real kind of blessing. Like, if you play music with other people, relax, you know? I think that's the biggest part. And I was gonna bring a bunch of notebooks and technically discuss this, but there's no way to technically discuss improving. It's like bands rehearsing their improv places. Well, okay, that's interesting. But, two things when I was trying to think about it, because it's a strange thing to think about, because I never think about it, because that's the first thing, is don't panic and don't ever think too much. Moments when we'll be in a pocket, there's certain songs that I'm trying to bring into kind of focus that came out of nowhere. There's a tune called Setting Sail that we've done on a weird basis on some sort of jam things that has kind of changed form, but I've liked the movement that it's been in, and I tend to do well in D, the key of D, and it's always kind of been in this like, and then it's sped up one time. I'm just experimenting with the vocals over the top of it. I can't remember, Rosalita, that I've been noodling with for the past few years, and Kaufman said, when are you going to actually write it? And I said, I'm not quite sure if it'll ever be done. But the first thing is don't panic. What I try to do is I try to use my environment. I was making that thing up, I had no idea where to go, I had a moment of panic, and I looked at the white tent, and I thought, okay, the white of her eyes, or, you know, weeks. I stood on a hay bale and I felt a little weak, so I said, well, you know, the weeks turned into whatever, so. If you're ever in a place like that, you're in a band, or even in your daily life, you know, you want to make the fishing story even better. It's kind of just using your environment and not panicking. And let's say, you know, so we'll be on stage and I'll look in the back of a room and there's a big blue neon beer sign. So I'll think, blue, okay, blue. How can I use blue? How can it talk to me? And I don't want to say, oh, the neon blue beer sign in the bar room. That's just terrible. So, but it really is, it's a case of just, it's freeing your mind kind of a thing. And also having faith in the musicians around you. Because the whole idea of improving is to fall on your ass sometimes. That really is. And those are some of my favorite moments because you learn more about who you are and your limits by falling on your ass. It's like anything. I can't ride a unicycle. I'm sure if I got on a unicycle, I'd fall on my ass. Well, I would learn I still can't ride a unicycle. But the next time I got on it, I might get one pedal around, I'd fall on my ass again and say, okay, I can slightly ride a unicycle, but I'm not putting it on a resume anytime soon. But that's the first thing, is really just, and I know it's easier said than done, but it just happens through experimentation. And like I said, luckily, I got 3 guys who look at me on a regular basis and go, oh shit, go ahead. And I'm not quite sure if they're just glad it's me. I at least I didn't speak at 4,000 beats a minute and fall on my ass, but it's a fun thing to do because when it clicks, there's nothing like it. And to see the reaction of you guys like in a crowd on a nightly basis is pretty cool to see it happen. But you let everything influence you. You know, you look around and you see somebody who's got a Cubs hat on, and you think, hard times they came to my daddy before he was 15 years old. Grandpa would sit him down upon his knee, say, son, yeah, you listen to exactly what you're told.